All right, and welcome to East County Prep Football Preview Show. I'm Ramon Scott, joined by Dave Dickens of EastCountySports.com. And Dave, joining us today from Lakeside and maybe other parts of East County, the El Capitan Vaqueros, Dave. And, you know, Dave, last Friday when the Vaqueros took that annual run up Main Street, it meant so much more than just the start of another football season, even though it was going to be 6 months late for everybody in the community and really throughout the county that watched it on local television. It, to a certain extent, kind of signified the end of our misery a little bit as we kind of get rolling with everything. We heard some more great news today, and I tell you what, some great news. Next Friday night, the Vaqueros are going to be taking on the Steel Canyon Cougars. What a way to start the season, Dave.
You know, absolutely. I think I think that the run started the whole thing off, and after talking backstage with a few of the guys, they said that the turnout was incredible. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it, but I can't even imagine. And as I told them, look, we're only going to have 6 games, but the good thing about the whole thing is I think this is going to be a season to remember. Championship list or not, I think that it's going to be something that we got through. We got through it. We made it. And we started in March, and we didn't just start the outdoor sports. We're starting the indoor sports. It's a go all the way around, and we could be maskless in the next 6 months. So everything is turning around. I think even these guys here, everybody's spirits up, everybody's ready to go. Normalcy is around the corner, I think, and I think the guys will agree as well. And it starts with one of our favorite pastimes, and that is the pigskin and playing the game of football, watching the game of football. And I'm gonna start with Coach Mcdade. A lot of duties this year due to Coach Berner. I no pun intended, but burning the candle at both ends for sure. Thoughts on having extra responsibility this season?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a busy man. There's no doubt about it. Businessman, football coach, family man, all those things. So, but that's kind of why I came over here to help him out and kind of take some of that off his shoulder.
Sean, as his coordinator and being with the program for a while now and more familiar, the guys we have on the screen, what are your thoughts on these gentlemen and their strengths and El Capitan overall? It is a shortened season, but we got some talent.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, all 3 of these guys are seniors who have put in the work, have been through all the ups and downs through the 4 years, and for a while it was looking like they were going to get robbed of their senior year, but they stuck with it, kept practicing for, it felt like 30 months, and not really even knowing if there was going to be a season. Showed up every day, and now at least they get, if not a full season, at least a little bit more than half a season, and they get to have their hard work pay off.
Sure, Dave, and let's meet our crew right now. Of course, we got special because we got 3 seniors with us, and I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna guarantee you one thing: this team, despite the fact it's gonna be a shortened season, is gonna win more football games than it did last year. Senior defensive guru, if you will, DEREK Mannigeel, linebacker, defensive line, does it all. Austin Lee, defensive back. He's been on this varsity for some number of years now, I think dating back to his sophomore year, I want to say. And Strider Prather, linebacker, also a senior. This defense, nothing ever wrong with this defense, Coach Mcdade.
No, not at all. It's funny, all 3 defensive guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, Austin, as a veteran of this team, making that last run up and down Main Street last week, I'm sure probably won't even remember the other times you did it. That was just electric.
Yeah, no, it was 100% way different than all the past years. It was just way bigger turnout, more people. Everybody just seemed way more like excited about the whole thing. It was great.
I mean, the support that you get in Lakeside anyway, I think, more so this year because of the pandemic, but uh, I had the privilege of living in Lakeside for a couple of years, one of my younger years, and it just seems like a really tightly knit community, and they're always supportive. Even if their kids have already graduated, you get a lot of folks that would normally be in the stands under normal conditions, supporting the El Capitan program, especially football in particular. Um, but Austin, what do you think of the younger talent? If you want to name a few guys on the defense, especially the juniors that are this season. I know it's important to you guys being seniors and being able to play some of these games, but it's really important to those juniors to get some scout looks and get some film built up, so they can build a future of their own. Some names that pop up in your head that stand out as part of your defense.
Yeah, so there's definitely, Antoine, he's our corner. He's always been good, lockdown, always ready to play. There's a bunch of sophomores too, ready to play. There's a kid named Dominic Denha, he's good, running at our outside linebacker, really ready to set the edge, get stuff on side of the.
Yeah, but there's a lot of seniors on this.
Yeah,
A lot of seniors on this ball club too.
Yeah, lots of seniors are starting both sides of the ball.
Hey, Dave, you might remember one of the seniors. We're going to get a chance to see him, veteran of the club, and you've already talked to him already, and that was Cameron Jimenez. Remember, he was out at the walk over at Granite Hills, and you got a chance to interview him. And, of course, he's a big part of this ball club, but just so many veterans on this team. I can think of so many names, but look who's popped up in our chat. Guys, how about saying hello to your teammate, Caitlyn Lavalay? He's going to be a great wide receiver, another 3-year guy, right? So a lot of veterans on this team. This year, Dave, it's going to be a little bit of a different look for El Capitan. Savion Yokley looks like he could be in at quarterback right now. Maybe Coach Mcdade can kind of help us with that. But other notable names on this team as well. Taylor Grassmick is going to be in there, and he's a veteran of the club, hard running back, also plays linebacker, but he's going to be running hard. Veterans like Timothy Hudson and Alex Faea, I want to say that right. And, of course, Cody Johnson, Cole Faulkner, guys, we can win some games. I'm going to say it. We're going to win more than we did last year. Strider? No, I got Strider frozen. Derek, help me out. Tell me we're going to win more games than last year.
Absolutely, sir. We're winning a lot more than last year.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. And what kind of energy are you guys feeling right now, just every day going through this work? I mean, like I said, we're just days away from the start of the season. It's going to be just awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, our practices lately have been great.
It's always great.
And our district has done a good job of allowing us to continue to practice throughout the pandemic, where I know that it hasn't been the case with necessarily every other district. So we've really been together, even though only officially practicing for like a little over a week now. We've really been together for the past 9 months, practicing and doing all that stuff. So we've had a lot of time to mesh and come together as a team.
Now, Derek, that's where I would ask, do you feel, and I've asked quite a few of the other players from the East County teams that we cover, do you feel stronger and faster because of the amount of time that you've been able to, the extra time that you've had spend conditioning and improving your game and practicing and probably even outside of El Capitan? I'm sure you've gotten together with some of your buddies or teammates and also done workouts prior to that. Just would you say that you guys are in better shape than you've probably ever been because of the length of time that's been in between seasons?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We would have liked to have our season start, months ago and had it be on schedule, but we've seized every opportunity to get extra work in, and we've been working really hard to just be ready to go when the time has come, and we're ready now.
And speaking of that time, I mean, we felt it too. I mean, it was like just a week and a half ago where we get a go. I mean, we're thinking, oh yeah, they're gonna push it back another month. It's probably gonna be April, and then we might not even get a season. And then boom, just out of nowhere, we get it's a go. Let's get busy. And I'm sure you guys got the call real quick. Okay, let's meet at the field at this time, and we got to get going.
Yeah, through all of this, Burner's been really persistent about telling us that we're going to get a season one way or another. So we've been preparing as such. We've been preparing for our season this past 9 months. So we were ready to go immediately when we got the notification.
Absolutely. Say that again. You agree with that, right? Because anybody who's kind of followed Coach and some of the things he said on the El Cap football page and other social media, he kind of prepped it ahead of the curve a little bit.
Absolutely. No, he's been telling us this whole time that we're preparing for our games. He knew that we were going to have a season.
Austin, Coach Burner is. I mean, you've been under him for a couple of years now, and it's funny. He can be the no nonsense guy, and you guys are hitting it hard. You're hitting the grindstone, and then there's other times where he can be absolutely hilarious and a great sense of humor too. At least that's what I've known over the years, and that's why I like going to the El Capitan games to see you guys, but also to see him on the sidelines and the passion that he coaches with, and sometimes even with the Zebras too, it can be a little entertaining as well. But one of the best, most dedicated head coaches in the league, definitely top 5 in the last, say, 2 decades or so, for sure. And I'm sure you guys agree too. And how he prepares his team, and with the playbook and the conditioning as well, along with his coordinator now, Coach Mcdade.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He's always up on us, just trying to get us better, trying to get us getting our stuff down, always getting us ready for the games. Even throughout the whole pandemic, everybody was saying no season, no nothing's gonna happen. But every day at practice, Burner was like, it's gonna happen sooner or later, no matter what anybody says, it's gonna happen.
And he's positive, and he's that positive guy that you can feel it, that he brings it to everybody, and that's the type of a leader that you want. And the day that he does retire is going to be a sad day, because I tell you, to this day, still my favorite thing and that's why I hope you have quite a few wins, is my favorite quote from him after every win is, "How about them Vaqueros?" And the way that he says it, the way he lays it down, you guys got to admit too, it's really something special.
We got that. How about them Vaqueros after that Granite Hills game last year? That's for sure. I mean, as disappointing as it might have been, that win kind of salvaged it, especially in the way that it went down. This season's going to be the memorable one, I think, looking back. I'm going to try to bring in Strider because his phone was dragging a bit. And I'm going to ask a question if there's a little delay. Let's see if it can catch up, or maybe it's right on. I don't know, Strider, if you can hear me, because I talked about some of the players on this Vaqueros roster, and I failed to mention one other key player, I think. You're a linebacker, so I mentioned Alex, but certainly one of the best players on this team, one of the best players in a number of years on this defense, Trenton March. Strider, can you hear me okay? And tell me about these linebackers. Yeah, I want to give it. Oh. All right, Derek. You know this defense well. I didn't. Can you help me with Trenton?
Trent actually had to move for family issues. He's no longer staying at
You
home.
got to interrupt me then when I say that.
Sorry, Coach. I was letting Strider finish.
Yeah, you're right. Oh,
But
that's a big loss. That's no doubt about it. He was a good player for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Trent had to move away. He's staying out in Nevada now, but I wish him the best. I hope he's doing well.
Oh, I wonder if he left. I don't know. I wonder if he left to play football. Well, no, they went. Let's just move on with that, Dave. So certainly, a number of veterans. Another guy on this team. I better check my roster now. I don't even know if we have the roster out. I was just going off last year's notes, but a guy that we got familiar with on the basketball court, Deshaun Desanor.
Hey man, I sort of got what you said in a gist. You kind of.
Oh yeah, Strider's phone's dragging us a little bit.
Almost.
We'll type him a message. Okay. Hey, Coach, on offense, a little bit different philosophy this year. The team's going to have, it looks like. Is Savignon going to be the quarterback of this team?
Yeah, I think he absolutely is going to be the quarterback of the team. He's obviously a very gifted athlete, and so we do have a couple other guys, younger guys, that are getting some reps there because there are a lot of things that Savignon can do, but I think he's really taken to the quarterback role and kind of a leadership role that comes along with being the quarterback. But I think you're absolutely right. It's going to be a little different look offensively this year where, there's been a lot of really good quarterbacks who have come through El Cap, and, throwing the ball down the field has been kind of a staple for El Cap, but we certainly really like the core running backs we have, and we think that we're certainly going to be improved on defense. So probably a little bit more of the run game and smash mouth football more so than it has been in the past.
Yeah, Dave, for sure. That's where that pounding running game of Taylor Grasmick comes in. You think of a kind of a hard charging back. And I think Alex probably plays a role in the backfield as well, guys. Another ball carrier,
yeah,
Sean?
No, absolutely. Yeah, Alex definitely, he'll be a two-way guy for us. Don't tell Coach Werner, but he's a defensive guy first. But he absolutely will play some offense too.
Derek,
And you're mentioning, I mean, you guys did have so many, after having Wick Hauser for several years, and really chucking the ball quite well down the field. I mean, he had quite a few passing yards last year, and to change that up and work out of the trenches, but at the same time, you know what? That's a kind of football I think many people do like. I mean, we like the we like the deep pass, the go routes and such, but it's always nice to have the good runners and that'll open up the passing. And now, would you say that because I know the Oakleys all have a great pair of legs, so you never know when he's going to take off, I'm sure, and pick up that needed first down when you're grinding.
Yeah, it definitely gives us another option in the run game. Wick was obviously a really good athlete too, but he was so important to us in terms of what he could do with his arm that, using him as a runner, we didn't do as much. So I certainly think you'll see a little bit more of that from our quarterbacks this year.
It's just going to be fun to watch because you guys it's going to be somewhat different. And it sounds to me like you guys are going to put, I'm just going to tell you guys, it's going to depend on you guys. It's going to depend on the defense. They're going to rely on you pretty heavily too to get a lot of 3 and outs, a couple of sacks, maybe even a couple of picks, and maybe have a one of the top scoring defenses this season.
Let's go, Strider. You talk about this D. I can tell your Cam and Mike is now working fine. You made the connection. Just talk some defense, brother.
So our defense is really most of our seniors now. I mean, we've all been working together. We've been working ever since June. I mean, we just have such good chemistry that we turn around, we know each other, we know what to do, and just I keep saying over and over, but our chemistry is just great. We know each other, we know everything. Like when we do the plays, we do it feels like a brotherhood. I mean, I don't know any way to explain such a brotherhood in this defense, because most of us are seniors besides our D line, and we just run up with each other with this same defense. And I feel like this season is going to be very different from others. And there's no doubt about it that we're going to get more wins this season than last year.
And El Capitan is due, right, Strider? I mean, El Capitan is due. You got with Coach Berner and Coach Mcdade and a couple of the other on the staff. I mean, you got great coaching. You got a great defense. It looks like you built up an offense, a newer type of offense, but you guys got all the ingredients you need to possibly even go undefeated. I mean, is that asking a little too much?
You never ask too much for that.
It's not. Here's the crazy thing about it. You think of the season that we had last year, and you think of this.
Our offense may be a little young, but we haven't.
He might have think, okay, that's okay. I just wanted to add that, now that there's no league schedule, we know that. But you look at the Vaqueros schedule this year, and hey, all these games are manageable. The great thing is, you look at the matchups that the Vaqueros are going to have on this schedule. All the games are going to be thrilling. It looks like to me. It's going to be much of the fortitude Austin possibly inside. It could come down to those one or two key plays. I mean, if you look at where the ratings are, I mean, we don't know now. It's been a year and a half, but I'm just talking about the old legacy ratings that kind of, people follow, and you got to kind of stick to it away until teams prove themselves. But up and down your entire schedule, other than Steel Canyon, and hey, you know what? I got a secret for you, Dave. Right now, the talk is, and we'll talk to the Cougars later, so we'll put the onus on them a little bit. Steel's down a little bit. They're going to have to work things out. They're a great program. We know they're going to kind of be a reloading type of team, but that's what they're doing right now. This is a reload type of year. They got great personnel. They're still going to be great, but Cap is going to be in for a great, great game, and they're going to be in for a great game every week this season.
And that's the great thing about it, I think, for you gentlemen is, you guys have had to face so much adversity for so many years now, playing always the top talent, and like the Madisons, and having not so much Mount Carmel, but you're always facing like top 10 talent teams. San Pasquale, when they were up, I mean, you guys got to play some real tough teams, and even in the Grossmont Conference, facing Granite Hills, and then what you guys did too. Granite Hills was no slouch last year either, so that was a huge win to be able to beat them, and I'm sure you guys definitely enjoyed that evening for a while.
Austin, what do you remember about that game? It seems so long ago.
Well, I mean, I couldn't really remember too much. I was too busy being injured on the sideline for that game. So, but I just remember the energy was so high coming into the game because we were just down, not winning the game a while. And it's always great going in to play Granite because it's like basically one of the rivals. And basically tired of losing. Everyone was. Came in and just stuck it to them and ended up with the win, and it was great.
Derek, how about it? What do you remember about that game?
Actually, this is a kind of bad group to be asking about that game. I was out for that game as well. I had some back issues last year, but I was there, and that game was incredible. I was really upset that I couldn't play in it, but the energy was unmatched that game, and I think that's what really brought us over with Granite was we just had better energy than them. It's not that they were a worse football team per se, but we came in ready to win.
Coach, we're playing Granite this year.
We are week 2.
Well, I feel bad for Granite because all of a sudden, the Granite team that lost to El Cap last year without Austin, without Derek Strider. What do you think, man? We're going to get off to a 2-0 start. We'll beat the Cougars, we'll beat the Eagles.
I'm going to end up with the checks from Coach Cobbs and Coach Longerbone real soon.
Yeah.
But go ahead if you can.
Yeah,
I mean, as far as Strider, if he can answer.
Yeah, it might be dragging a little bit still. I'm glad we got that one answer out of him.
But it is any given Friday, right, gentlemen? I mean, it's who is more prepared and who is really has that desire for that evening.
Hey, that'd be the greatest start I think we had in a while. I plan on it too.
There you go. See, just took me. Yeah, yep. Just took a few seconds. Hey, I hope Strider's not late on the play. Okay, it's not going to happen. I just want to make sure since I've done such a poor job here on my research of this roster, and I mentioned some names. I want to make sure that I don't forget anybody, and I don't want to mention anybody I didn't get to. Do you have Jacob Fukushima still on the team? He's a senior.
No, not anymore.
Okay.
Not.
Did I mention Timothy? He's got to be there. He's the big man. He's the captain.
Yeah, 100%. He's the leader on the O-line for sure.
Yeah, he's a leader on this ball club. He's a leader on this ball club, Austin. Right?
100%. Definitely. He's always out there making sure his teammates are doing their work, getting their thing done, staying up.
Coach Sean, how do you keep them motivated? Bring the realism in here. Off of last year, dragging through the pandemic. Is it all thrown out the window because of the enthusiasm that we're all feeling right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you just look at record alone, you could say last year was a negative year, but we're a handful of plays away from having a completely different record than we had last year. And just all the work that these kids have put in all throughout the off season and getting themselves prepared. We haven't even talked about last year at all. We realize, right now the focus is 100% just on Steel Canyon. They have an outstanding staff over there, and even if they're reloading, I know for sure that they'll be ready and they'll be prepared to play us. So, I think having a year in the defense that we're in now and being able to do some different things, I think that we'll definitely be prepared as well, and we should definitely put up a better game against them than we did last year.
Yeah, Dave, to be fair, I just want to say, to be fair to them, I keep bringing it up to try to make a conclusion that we will have such a successful season. But if you look at the ratings, El Capitan was an underdog in every single game that they played last year. So I'll just leave it at that. And they played some very, very competitive games in those, and even the ones that got out of hand were usually, it was the story of El Capitan, competitive early on, and it just gets away late because we're up against such tough opponents. But like Coach said, this year, hey, these are all very, very familiar opponents in the conference.
Yeah, Ramon, I was at, I believe the game, and it did get out of hand later, but I tell you, it was an exciting game at the beginning, and I know you guys remember against Patrick Henry. Boy, there were some weird plays in that game. it was definitely a game to remember, especially the first half. And I don't want to say the wheels came up, but that turned out to be a pretty tough game. But neither here nor there. I wanted to ask before we did, and we haven't talked about the staff besides yourself and Coach Berner, and especially the defensive coordinator. If you could reflect, I'm gonna actually send this one over to Derek.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
I wanted you to tell me about your defensive coordinator and what he brings to the table as far as part of the staff.
Coach Mcdade has made a tremendous impact in the last 2 years he's been here. We had to change up our defense a good way through our season last year, and that was difficult for us, but he's done a really good job helping us bounce back from that, converting over to the new defense, and just keeping us on our stuff. He's a great coach.
Austin?
Yeah, I got exactly what Derek said. I mean, coming through about halfway through last season, starting off with the defense that just wasn't really working that well, and then just completely having to go new defense. I mean, Coach made it work with us, made it easy to understand, quick, and good to go. And after that, after we changed our defense, I mean, our games were pretty good defensive-wise. So.
And Strider, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I hope you can add your 2 cents.
Can you hear me? Is it good?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can't really say anything new because I already put in agreement with Austin. But Coach McDade has put a giant impact on this defense to where everything is just better to understand. I mean, we fly around. It's a great defense to be around. Great. He's just a great coach overall. He knows what he's doing. He's been in it for years, and you can't go wrong with it.
And
Yeah,
that's gonna
Dave,
lead me into my next question to Coach real quick is, I mean, how much of that do you bring? Do you bring some of that from all your years at Mount Miguel? Some of the things that you would use over there, and some of the experiences you had that worked for you over at Mount Miguel.
Yeah, I mean, all growing up and in college, I was a defensive guy, and but I, in terms of like coaching, it had always been from the defensive perspective. So when I became the head coach at Mount Miguel and took over the offense, it really gave me just a different perspective. And so when I came over to El Cap, I was originally on the offensive side, and then just over time, some things, there were some changes in staff, and so what was needed at the time was for me to go over to the defensive side. But I think having a strong grasp of kind of the offensive side of the ball has definitely helped me just in terms of knowing what offenses want to do and what gave me problems as an offensive guy. So I think, some of those experiences definitely have paid off.
Yeah, Coach, I feel bad making you drive around the block 20 times so we can keep this interview going. Either that or you're driving to get away from us. But tell me, I mean, obviously you're probably driving late because of your workload, man. What has it been like over – you got your football duties. You're the new athletic director at El Capitan High School. Everyone knows what these athletic directors are going through right now. What, did you just get off work 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, I mean, I probably should be at home doing some work right now, but I probably will when I get home tonight. But you know what? It's been an exciting time. At the end of the day, it's all about the kids, and I really, the administration at El Cap has been outstanding. They've really been fighting for us to keep going, keep practicing, keep the kids engaged, and certainly I'll take the extra work to mean so the kids of all sports get a chance to play.
Do these coaches that are working for El Capitan, are they having to ask you every day? Are they just waiting for your guidance? What type of things happen right now? I know that everything is fluid on a day-to-day basis, but what is the chain of communication like between coaches from as many as 10 or 12 different programs, boys and girls, and they're probably asking, what's next?
Yeah, probably since the last 10 days, my phone has been like attached to my ear, a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. I'm sure people are getting tired of hearing from me. But the biggest thing is, the best thing about Lakeside is it's such a community, and just having all the parents understand. Practices have changed because games been added, so it seems almost like every half hour there's something new coming out. So but everyone's been outstanding. Everyone's been really flexible and understanding, and at the end of the day, the goal has always been to let the kids get a chance to play, and so that's kind of how that's been.
And here we are. We're finally it's the beginning of March, but we're as of tomorrow, we're a week away from actually maybe not a traditional, but we're going to be under the Friday Night Lights. And from what I understand, and I'm sure it's the same for you guys too, 4 tickets per player, correct? As far as who can attend the game?
Yeah, as of right now, it's just close family members. That's kind of the stance that the district and our school is taking, that close family members will be allowed to attend the game. So.
Now, how about the visiting team? Is that going to be pretty much, well, they're a Grossmont Conference team also, so is that going to be pretty much the same for the visiting team?
Yeah, it will be the same for the visiting team. So actually, that's probably first thing in the morning. That's what we'll be doing, is getting all of our pregame material sent out to all the schools and all those things. But it's a collective effort. It's Danny Root came over from Granite Hills, and he's our athletic VP, and he's done an outstanding job kind of navigating us through all this. And everyone from Scott, our principal, to our campus supervisors who have had to pick up the extra work, everyone has just stepped in to make sure that these kids have this experience.
Dave, I think it's so interesting what Derek said. We talked to these other teams a little bit so far, half a dozen other teams, and I think, like all of us, kind of many of them expressed dismay and a lack of hope that we would get going. But like Derek said, Coach Berner's foresight and enthusiasm kept everyone engaged, and didn't catch these guys necessarily by surprise at all, despite the fact of what's occurred over the last 2 weeks to get things rolling.
No, I think that's kind of a staple that tells really the story and history, if you will, of Coach Berner and just his whole thought process, whether it be in something like this of a pandemic, and just the type of a coach that he is. And again, I can't say it enough times, the passion and the drive that he has and that he delivers to the team. And I'm sure that they would all agree that they feed off of that. And I think the rest of his coaching staff does as well, because he is that type of leader. I don't think anybody would correct me if I'm wrong on that, because I've seen it live for so many years, the way his coaching style, and it definitely rubs off on the kids.
Well said. Well said. All right, Dave, we'll let these guys go. Thank you so much to these defensive standouts for the El Capitan Vaqueros. we're going to learn more about this team and this offense because these guys are veterans. They're here to do a job, and the pressure. I want to say, hey, Derek, pressure's going to be on you guys, man, because hey, if the offense needs to grow and learn, and they can do that in a short amount of time, we know that. That's how offenses work. But the key is going to be keeping those single digits early in the game and keeping those teams off the scoreboard. Yep. All right, Dave. Do you want to get us out of here? Thank you so much to the El Capitan Vaqueros, senior defensive lineman, DEREK MANNIGEL, senior defensive back, Austin Lee, senior linebacker, Strider Prather, and one of the busiest men, along with about 11 or 12 others in the East County athletic director and defensive assistant head coach, defensive coordinator, Sean Mcdade of the El Capitan Vaqueros. Dave, thank you so much for getting our guest tonight.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, gentlemen, and we will see you on the field.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us on here.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you.
guys.
Great job. Good luck to the
Take care.
Vaqueros.
Absolutely.
Ron, if you want to stick around, we'll talk to you for a second before you get out of the car.